Hello and welcome back to the garden. In this video I'm going to give you a seed sowing update on some of the seeds that I sown earlier in the year, and we're also going to be pricking out some of our Cosmos seedlings. If you've been growing along with me and you've been sowing some of the seeds that I've been sowing earlier in the year, I just thought I'd show you where we're up to, how they're progressing, and what we're going to do next, particularly with the Cosmos seedlings. So when we sown the Calendula seeds, so we sown two varieties, Snow Princess and one called Neon. So this is how they are at the moment. We've not had particularly reliable germination all in one go, but they are still coming through very slowly. So there are a few just poking up through the soil there, and these are a little later than that one was. So I'm not quite sure whether the amount of heat we've been getting in the summer house has affected the germination. That could be one of the reasons. And pretty much a very similar kind of story with regards to the Neon. So we did have one that kind of germinated very soon, and then the other ones are taking a bit longer to come through, but they are coming. So there is hope. With regards to the Cosmos, we didn't get any germination with the Cupcakes blush. So because that was collected seed, it's probably something to do with either collecting it too soon or too late, or I don't know, but it didn't germinate. So I did go out and buy some more seeds, some fresh seeds from the garden centre, and I did sow them. And this is where they are now. So these are fresh seed, as you can see, no problem there. I also sown a few of the Antiquity that we grew last year, so they're on this side there. So they're coming along nice. So they'll be due for going into their individual containers, particularly the larger ones. And the Apricot Lemonade, which I've been really looking forward to this one, we didn't get a great amount of germination, but we did get some. So these are the ones I'm going to be pricking out today. And with that one that I have difficulty pronouncing, we did just get the one from the initial germination seed sowing that I did. I'm not quite sure what happened, but I went out and bought some more seed, and this is how they should look. These have germinated perfectly fine. Whether or not I did buy some of these seeds that are having difficulty germinating towards the end of the year last year, and they were, I think they were probably a third off or maybe even half price. So I wonder whether the storage in the shop being, I don't know, I can't really explain it, but the new packet has shown really good germination, and that's how they should be. So nice and lovely. Lovely little seedlings. So I'm going to wait till they start to get their true leaves before they get pricked out. So this summer house is turning into almost like a greenhouse. So I think it's lending itself to wanting to be a little grow house, which is probably what it'll end up being in terms of function. Let's move all those out of the way. With regards to the perennial seeds, I want to show you these because I'm excited. The Echinops Vetches Blue, if you can see on there, we have really good germination. So little seedlings now starting to come through there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little plants poking through. So that's really good. Really happy about that. They were the first to germinate. Then I noticed that the Helenium, this is the red shades, if you can see on there, very tiny seedlings, which you kind of expect from very tiny seeds. So they're coming through. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. They're coming through quite nicely. And then just the other day I noticed that there is a couple of the Geum Red Dragon. So you can see particularly that one there and that one there. So they're coming through nicely. Oh, and there's one there as well. So there's 3 so far. So that's good. Still no germination of the gold stem yet. The Rebecca. Nope, definitely no germination yet. But the other ones are encouraging, and the Echinacea seedlings are outside and they're growing nicely as well. But what I wanted to do today is just share some pricking out with you. So these are the Cosmos Apricot Lemonade. So I've got some compost here, and what I'll do is just get these pricks out. So I'm just using a multi-purpose compost. This is peat free. And what we're going to do is put these into their individual containers. So this is a lovely job to do. When you get those seeds germinated and you can start to see them growing lovely and strong, it's a really good thing to be getting them out into their own pots. So again, it's got a nice set of leaves, some good strong growth, a little bit on the leggy side, but that's probably because they've been growing inside. And I'm just going to use the seed leaves, so these are the ones that were first produced, and just using the dibber I'm just going to try and loosen the compost around them in order to get them out of this container. Sometimes they come in a bit of a lump, that's fine, and then because they're a little bit leggy, I'm going to put them quite deep into this pot. It won't do them any harm having them slightly deeper. So that's the first one. Go for this other one. So this is a variety I've never grown before, so this is going to be quite interesting to see how it's going to come out. There's a nice little root ball there. Small one there. Let's get more compost for that. So I'm just being quite delicate with them, just trying to make sure that they I don't damage the stem. The leaves are not as important as the stem. They will grow new leaves, but these kind of plants can't grow new stems. So if you damage the stem, I'm afraid that's the plant gone. This one wants to be a little bit on the curly side, so I just need to make sure when I plant it try and get it a little bit straighter. No, it seems to want to bend that way. So I'll place it in the summer house window and I'll try and encourage it so that this side is facing the light, so hopefully it will naturally want to bend back into a straight position. And then just a couple more. very last one, which has still got its little seed leaves attached to the seed capsule. Out that comes. And that's all them done. So I'm going to pop that in there. So that's all those. So they were pricked out when the seeds were put into a seed tray like this. So obviously they need to be pricked out a little bit sooner than normally. And you're going to disturb the roots when you actually dig them out. But let me just show you the other method which I actually prefer. Just move all these things around. So while I'm here, I'm also going to prick these ones out. So these are Cupcakes Blush. So I'm just going to do this section here of all these ones that have been done. So I'll get some more compost onto this potting tray. And I've also got some stickers. So I'm going to save the pink for the Cupcakes Blush, and I think the Apricot Stripe, and I think the Apricot Lemonade is going to be orange. So what I'm going to do is just place an orange sticker on each of these pots. I should have really done that before I moved them away. Because let's face it, all of these now look exactly the same at this stage, and until the actual flower, I'm not going to know which is which. So that's all of those dotted up. And then let's get the next ones going. So these will be a lot easier because these will actually come out in plugs. So a little bit of compost in there. And what we need to do with these ones, if we give these a little bit of a jiggle at the bottom, they should come out into a nice plug just like that. And then that can go straight in and straight down. So these are the cupcakes, and these are lovely, almost like a creamy pink. You can see they've got quite a nice root run, and already they're starting to show signs that they need to be transplanted. In they pop. So this is a variety we've grown before. This is a lovely tall variety and very floriferous. So we do like it, which is why we're growing it again. So these are probably not quite ready for nipping out the tips yet. You can see they've only got the first two leaves there, and then another two sets of leaves there. So we need a bit more stem before we can actually be nipping out the tips of these. But for the time being, At least they're going to be in another container and out of these small trays. And then the last one of this one. So I'm going to leave them. They're the antiquity ones that I've sown. It can stay there. That's all those ones done. So I'm going to label that and I'm going to stick the pink stickers on these. That's them all done. So that is another great session of getting the seed ready for growing on. So like I've just said, it is easier if you do sow into module trays. So these are the ones that I've just put these out of from, because you can just squeeze them out, pop them out and straight in there with minimal root disturbance. When you do grow things like this and they're in trays like that, you have got to go digging for the roots, and that does cause disturbance. And Cosmos are quite forgiving, but there are some plants that really don't like the roots disturbed. So if you can at all, always module sow. I'm going to try and find some room for these inside the summer house. We are quite pushed with space at the moment, but I'm going to give them a thorough water, and do make sure you keep on top of the watering. Don't let them dry out, particularly if they're inside a greenhouse or inside your home or inside a summer house like I'm growing them in. They can get much more hotter, particularly during the nice weather spell we're getting at the moment. So just make sure they don't dry out and look after them. Now we're in May and the risk of frost towards the end of the month is coming up. So any plants that you are growing indoors, please do harden them off before they plant them outside. This is just a period of a week or 2 weeks where you bring them outside during the day and then take them back in during the evening where it gets a little bit chillier. There is a video that I can link to which explains what hardening off is and how best to do it, so please check that out if you don't know what it is. But that will just give these plants the best chance because it prevents them getting shocked. If you just transport them straight from your house, your summer house, into a garden, they haven't experienced the outside environment before and they can struggle and potentially they can actually die. So please do follow that video, follow the advice, and hopefully you will get really strong plants this year. So that's the end of the video. I hope you found it enjoyable and informative, and if you've been growing along with me, like I've said, you can see the progression of these seedlings. Please do like the video, please subscribe, and also please drop any comments you like in the comments box below the video. We will see you very, very soon on the next video, but in the meantime, take care and happy gardening.